Hi, Eric and Candy. It's so nice to meet you both.
Nice to meet you too, Patrick.
Hey, how are you doing, Patrick?
Oh, so good. And I'm so excited to talk to you about this film. I loved it. And I specifically loved both of you with Porky and Petunia.
Oh,
I think the big question on my mind that I think audiences want to know is how would you define Porky's riz when it comes to his relationship with Petunia? If both of you can describe that for me, that'd be great.
That it's okay to be nervous around someone that you have I think she's cute. A crush is what I'm trying to say.
The riz is just coming out. I see it.
and I think that Petunia is not something that she was looking for because she is such a super scientist and she's very busy with her tastes. And she just thinks that she's found the right flavor. And then the real right flavor turned out to be Porky.
Were you recording together in the same booth at the time, or was it
Oh my
separate?
gosh, you have to say it because that was such a
I don't
wild
know.
thing.
Yeah, I don't know if we were recording it in the same booth per se, because this was still kind of like the tail end of 2020. We started in 2019,
Mhm.
and then we were all recording separately from home for safety. And I remember though there was a session where I saw her like on Zoom. I saw Candy. I wasn't sure if she was at home or at a studio, but we had a great session, and it was like, bye, miss you, and I wish I could see you. And then literally we exited the same hallway. We were at the same studio, not knowing that we were in different rooms from one
Different
another.
studios. And I want to say, I wonder if that was the day. Was that the day that they were closing? We were the last people in the
Oh,
building of Cartoon
well, there's
Network.
that. There's a yeah.
No.
I think
Was
that
that?
was for an episode of Tiny Toons. But that was
Oh,
really some of the only times that we, again, in the last few years, we've all been given the option as performers to, would you like to record from home or do you want to go in? And only now, within even the last week for me, is the first time I've been recording with other folks. But on this film, we definitely had opportunities to perform together for timing and for chemistry
right.
reads.
Do you know when you find somebody that has the same sense of humor that you do, and you are, he's got such a great kid, Riker. Hey, happy birthday! And I think that we have the same sensibility. It's so wonderful to get to play act that as a relationship on screen. It's very easy because I remember that Porky and Petunia start as a friendship,
Mhm.
and then there is an attraction, and then he doesn't show up, but it doesn't matter. That doesn't matter. It's typical. But it evolves into something a little bit more, and I think that she just finds um him charming and affable and a great companion.
Kids, it's the real Roth and Rachel. Will they or will they not? Not to give any spoilers, but I'm at the edge of my seat every time I watch this movie.
Well, Davi, welcome to the interview. I'm excited to talk to you actually, because speaking of friendship, there's a big friendship between Porky and Daffy in this, and they really get a feature-length story to really tell and flesh out their characters. Eric, you've been doing this for a while now, and you have to switch constantly between these characters. What is the process like for that? And having taken the role on for so long, have you become like having shorthand with the characters, or are you kind of thinking, what would Mel Blanc do in certain situations?
Oh
Has it
yeah,
become your own thing?
that's tattooed on my back. Is what would Mel do? When I was in prison for 10 years, I had that tattooed on my back. It really is. It's the blueprint. I call Mel Blanc the blueprint. He is the blueprint. He was the original performer and creator of most of, if not all, of the Looney Tunes characters, and aside from June Foray, of course, being there, filling in the other side of Looney Tunes. And yeah, you can't veer off of the tracks when it comes to these characters, because I'm not the only one that grew up with them, and that is as familiar with them 90 years later. So we get the musical notes that we know and that we hear in our ears, and then the conductor hands us the new arrangement of how these notes are to be performed, and we just swing for the fences, really.
In interviews, I can talk back and forth with these characters.
But for the film, we will start with Porky. He's less taxing because when I start as Daffy, he's always at 11 and breaks the dial. He keeps going and going. There is no inside voice with Daffy because there's nothing inside. Yeah, and I've gone on record, and Pete has said so in his interviews, where 9 times out of 10, when they get all those takes, especially the ones that they really like for each different character, and they marry them together, they do the shuffling of the deck of cards. They seem to work most of the time, and I'm really lucky to have directors like Pete and Alex, there to make sure that I don't fall off the trapeze.
He is beyond incredible, and besides that, he began as an animator. As we like to say, he's all in. He's all in it, and I think that there's not a lot of reining him in and keeping him on track. And sometimes I think that Pete Brownguard, who I think is genius, Johnny Ryan, all of these guys, Derek Bachman, I believe that they write Looney Tunes. They trust Eric so much that they write for him and they write to his sensibilities, and that all of us, Alex, everybody, we're all on the same playing field. We all get this rhythm, and we've seen other iterations. I have been in some rooms on this where I've seen other Porkies and other Daffies and everybody, and I think that when you have somebody that's able to do them all, that's where the cohesion is, and that's what makes this film different, is that you don't have a different Porky and you don't have a different Daffy. You have one man. I call him the Mel Blanc Jr. And I love that you laugh, because I don't mean like a young. He's Mel Blanc for our generation, for this generation, and introducing these lunatic characters to kids to start loving them now. And I do think that there's something about getting one person to do all the voices. I'm hoping that it bleeds over to the women. I'm hoping that I'm hoping that
she
it
will
kind
be
of
the leader of that.
I'm standing in the background, I have my little hat on ready to go on, and I just love the franchise, but I really do feel that that's what's different and special about The Day the Earth Blew Up, is that for the first time, it's a feature-length buddy comedy. For the first time, it's the same person doing all the voices.
How did you get a better answer than Eric, Candy?
Well, he can't. He's too little. Too little.
Oh man,
He's too
Oh,
Canadian is what it is.
I know. I'm going to do it for him. I'll be the American pushing him. But I do think that there is a certain level of, and I don't throw this word around, but he's got a certain level of genius to him. And I believe that we've got a team that I hope Warner Brothers Animation keeps in place, that really writes these 1940 characters to Eric's sensibility, to all of our sense of humor, and it's brought them all into 2025. I really do think that that's it, and I think the movie is hilarious.
But I also thank you
You're
for the
welcome. I
kind
love
words.
you.
But what I also think, Candy, is that anyone that has, in my experience at least with these characters, and I've worked with Candy for so many years now, everyone is looking at the same target, and I think it's to
Exactly
exactly what you said, bring these characters to a new audience and make sure that they get seen, and that they not only get seen, but that they bring as many laughs to the new folks that watch it as much as we got growing up watching them.
And I do think what I want to be clear is that anybody who has voiced these characters prior did a great job. They're all friends of ours. It's all, I'm just saying there's something about this movie when you have the same person doing it, where he can match his energy coming from two different characters. He matches his energy. This is the most energetic I've ever seen Porky, who just stays toe to toe with Daffy, and I absolutely love it. And that's what I think is great, besides the writing and the animation.
We say the Looney Tunes have entered 90 years of being on screen, and Mel Blanc passed away in '89. And I always thank the men and women that have carried the torch and passed it on long enough for me to go from the kids' table at Thanksgiving to eating with the adults.